So it's time for another video on the channel. We are going to be discussing Wrexham versus Woking, which finished 2-2 on Tuesday night. Match reactions in terms of that going into the preview for Saturday's game at the EBB Stadium versus Aldershot Town. And also, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe and tap that bell for more notifications as when to upload. And now I'm going to go into player ratings for Wrexham versus Woking on Tuesday night. And we will start off with Mark Howard in goal, giving him a 5. Anthony Ford, giving him a 7. Owen O'Connell, giving him a 6. Ben Tozer, giving him a 5. Harry Lennon, giving him a 4. Jacob Mendy, giving him a 6. Luke Young, 6. Andy Cannon, 6. Elliot Lee, 6. Paul Mullen, 7. Ollie Palmer, 5. We've got substitutes in James Jones, giving him a 4. Max Cloworth, giving him a 5. And Sam Dolby, giving him a 4. Now, reasons for ratings, in my opinion, no one deserves above a 7 and no one deserves an 8 either. Wrexham 2, Woking 2, the final scoreline, and we've seen a free kick goal from Anthony Ford and a penalty from Paul Mullen. Game is in terms of how it went, was a very scrappy game. It was nothing spectacular. It was just one of them games that you were like, oh, you know, it's one of them nights. And you know, let's not look at the way Notts County have performed, because Wrexham still have 2 games in hand and still have Notts County to play as well. So technically, currently at the moment, Vanarama National League tables stand at this. You got Notts County on 77 points with 32 games played, and Wrexham on 72 points with 30 games played. Now, if you think about it, Wrexham currently 5 points behind. Wrexham win their 2 games in hand. They go, I think it's a point in front. And then you beat Notts County, and then you go 4 points in front. So I wouldn't worry too much about the difference at the moment, and all I can really say is keep the faith. Now, Phil Parkinson spoke to Richard from the Leader newspaper, who's a Wrexham FC reporter, and Phil Parkinson said this: we were too hurried, we didn't work hard enough to make angles to pass it, and became a scrappy kind of game, which Woking are very good at, and they got a point. It is no lack of effort from the boys at all, but we know what we can do better as a team. Now, Phil Parkinson, he's probably got it right there. It was, in essence, a scrappy game. You know, Woking brought, you know, they had a decent following in terms of the fans that they brought down, and I think it was a 10,030 attendance. I think that was the confirmed attendance in terms of that. But yeah, it was a very scrappy game. You know, Woking, you know, went 1-0 up from a corner, which was, you know, it was flicked on to the back post, and you know, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, Woking, a very good side. You know, we've seen it at Wokin's ground when we beat them 3-2. You know, and they had 10 men as well, I believe. Was it Kyron Lofthouse that got sent off? So yeah, in terms of that, it was a very scrappy game, and Woking got the result that they needed in terms of what is, you know, as it stands at the moment, it's a 2-horse race between Notts County and Wrexham, but Woking solidifying themselves in the playoff places at the moment. Now, one thing I want to address as well is the booing. There's no need to boo, as I spoke before about the National League standings and the way Wrexham could literally become top of the league. There's no need to boo. There's just no need at all. And you know, I heard Harry Lennon got booed by a couple of people as he went off on Tuesday night. In my defence, yeah, he had a poor game, but the team as a whole were not up to scratch. And to boo the players at this time of the season, I think that's a wrong idea. I think at the moment, you know, Wrexham are in a very good place. You know, 2 games in hand, still got Notts County to play the racecourse as well. It's not even like it's away from home. It's at the racecourse, where Wrexham have still not lost a game since, God knows, I think sometime last season. So you've got to look at that as a positive. You know, yeah, I understand 5 points behind, but look at the games in hand and take every game as it comes, especially going into Saturday against Aldershot, who are doing half decent at the moment. Now, yeah, I think that game is spoken about enough. And if you know what, another thing that I do want to address though as well is that I love the comments, and I am going to be replying back to them ASAP. But I've seen a couple of people disagree, I've seen a few people agree. Listen, I love it, I love the debate, and I love to be able to talk to you guys about Wrexham in general, and just in terms of the team and the squad and your thoughts and opinions. You know, I'm not going to address Mark Howard. You know, I think the player ratings speak for itself. He never had the best of games. You know, Harry Lennon never had the best of games. So I think Wrexham as a whole, going back into what I was saying, and not having the best of games. Now, Aldershot versus Wrexham on Saturday. I do have a guest on this video to speak more in depth. He is an Aldershot Town fan and matchday vlogger. It goes by the name of HiccupEU.
Hello Wrexham fans and welcome to my section of the preview. Well, let's just get straight into it. Last year at the Stadium it finished Aldershot 0, Wrexham 5, and it's fair to say that I do not want to talk anymore about that bit. Then we go on to the racecourse this season where it was a closer game. It was Wrexham 2, Aldershot 0. We were still unable to find the back of the net, but most importantly, it was a close game. Going into this game, Aldershot only have one recognised striker in Jake Hutchinson, as Ini Effiong was just buggered off to Dagenham and Redbridge and ruined our front line. Harry Paniatu has just recently gone off to Maidenhead as well on a 1 month's loan, so we really only have one striker. So unless we announce somebody before kick-off tomorrow, we're buggered. It is going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. Aldershot on a decent little run at the minute, to be fair to us. We've been picking up points at home when we never normally do. One of the worst formed sides at home. It's awful. I think this is going to be a very high scoring game. I'm going Aldershot 2, Wrexham 2, and here is why. I think Paul Mullen's going to put Wrexham up early on. I think Joe Partington is going to equalise thanks to a beautiful little free kick. Paul Mullen's going to score again to put Wrexham up again. But then, in the 94th minute, Aldershot are going to get a corner. Ollie Harfield's going to whip the ball in. Corey Jordan is going to leap like a salmon at the back post and bang! Back of the net. The living's going to be unbelievable. The atmosphere from both sets of fans is going to be unbelievable. So this is a vlog you will not want to miss from either of us. So make sure to check it out. Like this video, subscribe to Jaffa as well. Absolutely sexy content, so you will not want to miss any of it. I think that's me waffling on for enough now, so I'm going to hand back over to the legend himself. Jebbo, it's over to you.
So yeah, HiccupEU has spoken in terms of Aldershot Town versus Wrexham. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now moving on into Wrexham's preview, theoretically. You know, you've got Tom O'Connor. This is the injury list, by the way. Tom O'Connor, hamstring injury, out 6 weeks. Aaron Hayden with his calf injury, still got another 4 weeks absence. Jordan Tunnicliffe with his ankles out for 4 weeks. Reece Hall-Johnson, who's got a groin injury, and Callum McFadden with a stomach injury are currently unknown to when they're going to be back. And Jordan Davis with his knee injury is going to be back within 2 weeks. Now, Aldershot Town, currently at the moment, they're doing alright in terms of form, in my opinion. Aldershot Town 13th in the Vanarama National League. You know, and if they just supposedly beat Wrexham, you know, if this is Wrexham's bad spell of form, if they were to get a result against Wrexham, they could theoretically move past Solihull Moors in the table. Now, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy the way that Aldershot are conducting themselves at the moment. And to be honest, I never expected them to be this high up in the league as well. But yeah, we are going to be moving on though into Aldershot Town's last 5 results. Going to the 28th of January, a 1-1 draw against Oldham Athletic at home. Then a 1-0 defeat on the 31st of January at home to Boreham Wood. Then they beat Dorking Wanderers at home on the 4th of February. Beat Dorking Wanderers again 1-0 in the FA Trophy 5th round. And also just had a 1-1 draw against Chesterfield on Tuesday night. Now that Chesterfield result is a big statement, you know, in terms of getting results against big teams. And yeah, doing well in the FA Trophy, got a little run going in terms of Aldershot Town as well. So yeah, you know what, it's absolutely crazy to see, you know, how decent they're actually doing this season. But we're going to move on into who I would say is the man to watch. Now, looking at statistics, I would say it was in Effiong. Now, Effiong scored 14 goals a season for Aldershot. Well, in terms of just the National League season, but he did get the move to Dagenham and Redbridge, so he is no longer an Aldershot Town player. So going off the back of that, it's Justin Amaluzzi. He scored 8 goals a season in 30 appearances. Now, they've got a centre-half as well called Tyler Cordner, who's got 5 goals this season as well for centre-half. So, you know, he's like their version of our Aaron Hayden, for example, except Aaron Hayden's probably 10 times the better player than what Tyler Cordner is, and that's no disrespect to the Aldershot Town centre-half. Now, score predictions, I just feel that Wrexham need to bounce back. And it's crazy because I'm going to speak about this in a second. But I'm going to think it's going to be Aldershot Town 0, Wrexham 1. Now, I have joked with Hiccup and said, you know, it's going to be 3-0. You know, Mark Howard's going to get a hat-trick. Listen, it's just a bit of banter. I genuinely think, results-wise, it'll be 1-0 Wrexham. and Ollie Palmer if he starts to get the goal. I just think the only thing that lacks for Wrexham is the fact that Tom O'Connor's got no presence in that midfield at the moment because he's out for 6 weeks. It's a horrible injury to have, a hamstring injury, and in terms of that, it's a big miss for Wrexham as well. I think that Tom O'Connor in the midfield complements Luke Young so much, being the aggressor, being that guy who wins the ball, you know, his free kick goals as well, you know, he contributes so much. And I feel like, you know, having like, and this is no disrespect to James Jones or Andy Cannon or anyone that's in that midfield alongside Luke Young, but if you don't get that big hitter, it's not going to complement Luke Young as much and allow Luke Young to be free on the ball, doing what he needs to do. Now, do Wrexham go out and get a midfielder? Now there's been shouts of Callum Guy from Carlisle United. Is he going to be the man? Possibly. But is it overloading the midfield to a degree where it's like, you know what, we've got all this money, we can spend it? And it's just a bit controversial in terms of a player gets injured. You know, you go into the market, you get someone and, you know, it replaces, you know, look at Owen O'Connell. There's no disrespect to him either. You know, you lose your two best centre-halves, your two starting centre-halves in one game, might I add, in Aaron Hayden and Jordan Tunnicliffe, and then you go out there and get Owen O'Connell from Charlton Athletic. And you know what? He's been an absolute stud since he came in the side. So, question remains, when they both come back, who misses out? Because I can't see it being Aaron Hayden, but at the same time, Jordan Tunnicliffe was arguably one of the Wrexham's best centre-halves this season. I'm not saying he's the best, but he was one of. And he's probably up there in terms of the best centre-halves in the Vanarama National League. Now, arguably as well, Tom O'Connor comes, well, you know, it was arguably said, you know, Tom O'Connor been slotted into centre-half. You know, should we go in for the centre-half? And it speaks again on the fact that, you know, Max Cleworth is undoubtedly going to start, and, you know, on Saturday, it was without a shot. But whilst Tom O'Connor was going into that centre-half position before the injury, it was also always stated to me that would Wrexham go out there and buy a new centre-half in the window? And obviously Tom O'Connor is now injured, so the answer to that is no. Do I believe that Max Cleworth and Harry Lennon are trusted? I think Cleworth is to a degree. I think it's more of his development and confidence issues with Cleworth. I think Harry Lennon, no, he's not trusted. He deserved to start on Tuesday night, and he fumbled his chance. So I think Cleworth undoubtedly has to start on Saturday. But yeah, this is me just chatting wham for God knows how long. But if you have enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe and tap that bell for more notifications as and when to upload. I will be at the game tomorrow, Aldershot Town versus Wrexham at the EBB Stadium. Let me know your score predictions in the comments section down below. Safe journeys, and I shall see you guys at the EBB Stadium tomorrow.